we are supremely excited today to meet with a very eminent artist, Eugenia Cano from Mexico, and her collaborator, who's also an artist himself in his own right, Jaime Soriano. We are so excited to have you, Eugenia G, today. Thank you. A little introduction about you. Eugenia Cano studied performing arts at the National Theatre School in Mexico City, and she did special courses on corporal mime in the Corporal Mime School of Montreal, Canada, 1995 to 97. And very interestingly, she also did Kathakali studies at Kerala Kala Mandalam in India over a period of 4 years from 97 to 2001. She has participated in more than 20 plays as a performer, has directed more than 15 plays, and in 2002 she founded her own company, Teatro Calipatos. Am I right with the pronunciation? With this group, she has created many different projects, and I'm going to let Eugenia G speak to some of them, rather than me going through the various productions. Suffice it to say, there's been immense number of productions and very varied. One such thing is she's created the plays collection called the Dream Sectarium, and I was going to ask you, very interesting, where it's the spider's dream, Zoom, Kuka is dreaming, Butterfly's wings, and Pita and the poetry, where she performs all the characters. Man, how interesting. For more than 5 years, Eugenia has coordinated a theater program for rural communities in Guanajuato. Am I right in pronouncing it? It's a state in Mexico. For 3 years, she's organized a forum with these groups in the cities of Guanajuato and Salamanca. She has been a scholar of the Mexican Funding for Arts and Culture, the FONCA organization, the Indian Council for Cultural Relationships, ICCR, the Guanajuato State Cultural Institute, and Mexican West Center Funding for Arts and Culture. Her work has been presented in many countries in Latin America, Canada, the United States, Denmark, Wales, Belgium, India, UAE, Bahrain, oh my goodness, and the Republic of Congo, to name a few. And she is also a scholar by the Mexican Funding for Arts and Culture. And we are absolutely excited and thrilled to have you, Eugenia G. Very warm welcome to the Cross Culture Concerts and Sayatsarus. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you, Ranjini. Thank you for the invitation. I'm very happy to be in this space, which enable us to see all this richness of the cross-cultural movement in the world.
Absolutely, absolutely, Eugenia G. Your background has been so intriguing to me, and I know we've spoken now a few different times. And the way our cross culture was initially launched was to simply ask the question, why or what is the message behind when an artist chooses to learn music or dance of another culture, in addition to their own native culture? And why does an artist take the trouble to go miles away, thousands of miles away, to another country, learn the culture, come back, and then continue to work on that, promote a culture of another country in addition to theirs? And so we feel somebody like yourself represents this so well, in terms of the way you have integrated your background in Kathakali, and also all the works that you've done, which are groundbreaking to me, to say the least. I was wondering, Eugenia G, if you will be able to speak a little bit to your journey, sort of how you began, back in Mexico, your journey towards all these different cultures, and how you came back into Mexico with all these different cross-cultural projects.
Retaking these questions you made, how can a person be interested in learning something which belongs to a very, very distant place? Of course, at the beginning, I didn't know this. Of course, at the beginning, I started learning because I took a Kathakali workshop and I liked, and I said, I want to learn this, and that's it. Right. But now I mean, like making memory of that time, I think we choose to learn something because that discipline or speaks to us in a way, to your body, to your mind, to your sound. There is something in common, maybe something in your history, very, very, very back, has a connection with that. And I think if we choose to learn something from another place, I almost sure in another life or in another way, you had a connection with that place. For example, when it happened to me, I took a workshop in Montreal when I was living in Montreal.
Okay.
And I remember the first or the second class in which the teacher asked us to start to start doing the steps and to start doing the sound on the floor. Before starting anything else, he said, okay, go and try to take the sound from the floor. And we started to doing this with the feet. And in one moment, I felt that I already had done that before. It was but it was with a sensation with the body.
Wow.
And I think that connection happens when we decide to learn something which belongs to a very, very distant place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's oftentimes I've always wondered, and we've had several artists globally we've featured from different parts of the world, be it Japan, Russia, Canada, Europe, Africa. Everyone, has a different journey, and this is not necessarily just in the context of Indian music, but I think with the similarity that we are seeing between all the different artists is there is almost something intangible that you connect with, and then you start following that in your journey. Like you said, something like, the movement of the beats, and it pulled you into that and made you want to learn something rather rare, like something like Kathakali. While it's obviously extremely popular back in India, outside of India, there's not as much, I've seen artists who pursue it. And to your point, there's been lots of similarities, right? Like to Kathakali as an art form, I know there's similarities to certain Japanese and Chinese dance forms. But interestingly, you've kind of taken it and you're trying to also figure out how you can combine it with the Mayan heritage. And so, which is a totally different kind of approach to it. One question I had was when you took on Kathakali, Eugenia Ji, did you kind of feel like a draw to it? How was the reception here in Mexico when we brought it here? I mean, what's your experience there?
Well, it was long ago when I came back. In fact, Kathakali was not, well, even now it's not so known in Mexico also. Even in India, I mean, Kathakali is also popular in Kerala, but even there outside Kerala, we can see Kathakali maybe in Delhi. In Calcutta, there are some groups, but it's very few.
Correct.
Kathakali takes sense only in Kerala. So when I was coming back to Mexico, of course, I wasn't expecting to make a Kathakali troupe here, or even though I was not thinking about a huge school or on Kathakali, because Kathakali belongs to a very specific place, to a very specific public. We cannot take it and put in another place because it's out of context. But when I was coming back, I was thinking what was important for me. What could I take with me and could help me to develop my work? Of course, it was the Kathakali training, which is really, really a huge, very, very strong element that I can use in my work for contemporary theater. And speaking with my Asian, I will speak about my Asian after. I realized that the element that units all the rest of the elements in Kathakali was rhythm. That's why I was researching on this element, on this item for a long time, because it's the element that in a way gives a structure to the all this art form.
Very interesting.
So that's the way I focus my work when I came back to Mexico. I was not trying to make like an imitation or to
Right,
teach
right.
exactly Kathakali,
Correct.
but to take like the power it has and make something similar here.
That's
It was
very, very interesting. I mean, we couldn't ask for something more cross-cultural. But sorry, just going back again a little backwards to the Kathakali aspects. I know, Eugenia G, in the past and even in the recent past, you have performed, Kathakali both as male and female characters. And I kind of was wondering if you might be able to comment couple of things. One is sort of, do you have any challenges, performing one role versus the other? And I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, when I was growing up back in India, we used to watch Kathakali on the television, predominantly. And to your point, even growing up in India, I've not seen a live show. But I've predominantly seen it being dominated by male characters or, the male dance. So in your performances, there's been both, and I was wondering if you might be able to comment a little bit about that.
yeah, of course. I mean, Kathakali, it's a male discipline and it's a male art form from the beginning.
Right.
That and it was written by men. It was performed by men. So of course, it's full of male characters.
Correct.
There are very nice female characters also, but in general, it's full of male characters. But remembering that time, in Kathakali, it's not like you are a woman, then you perform a female character. You are a man, then you perform a male character. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It's more as men perform female characters, distribution. They don't search like the woman for distribution.
Correct.
Because in the beginning they had only men who were performing.
Right.
So they won't search for a woman to perform a woman.
Yeah.
They search for someone who has female qualities, which is different. And for example, I am a woman, but I have a very strong male energy. So for me, when I have to perform masturbation, was more difficult. And also for my face.
Right.
Just for the face. I had classmates who were very thin, very, I don't know, very fine features. And when I was looking at them, makeup as a woman, they were much more feminine than I. So,
Interesting.
so it's not a question of being a woman or a man to perform that kind of characters. It depends on the energy and also on your features and on your structure.
Right.
Because I mean, well now less, but I have cheeks and big eyes, so I was like in the I had like all the qualities to perform a Pacha characters, for example,
Correct.
a male role. They never let me to perform the Chubana Tadis, the big ones, because they
I
told me,
see.
no, you don't fit for that role. Yeah, so it has more to do with your physical aspect, your energy, with your energy than with being a woman or being a man.
I think that's a very interesting aspect. In some sense, it brings equity into that space, into the theater space, just by what you're saying, that anyone can do any role. It doesn't really matter. It's all based on what you're bringing to the table or the stage, so to speak.
And also, it doesn't matter your age. That is great.
Yeah.
Because I remember once I was performing with my Asian, and I was the mother.
Oh, okay.
So it was very nice, because the age doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you are a woman, if you are a man, if you are young, you can perform any character.
Absolutely. No, I think that's a very, very interesting aspect as well, Eugenia G. So, I mean, I know you started into Kathakali after that workshop, and I remember when we talked, you also mentioned you did live in France for a little bit. Am I right?
In Quebec, in Canada,
In
in the
Canada,
French
in
part. Yeah,
Quebec. Okay.
yeah.
So, what was your journey there, and what was your focus in Canada or in Quebec in terms of your art form?
I went there to study corporal mime, the crew technique,
Okay.
which is a French technique, but I was learning that in Canada.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
amazing. And so when you came back to Mexico at that point, I suppose what I'm trying to find out is at what point did you decide you wanted to sort of start exploring these, borders, like pushing the envelope on the borders of these cultures? And if you could speak a little bit to your projects, current projects that you and I have discussed a little bit, I think our audience will really find it very interesting.
Well, I will tell you about the switch. I was studying corporal mime in Canada for a while, 3 years. But in one point, I felt that something was missing, something like a background, like a less selfish background. If I could say that.
Okay.
Yeah, because the French point of view, it was very clear, very structured, but it was very homocentric, if I could say that.
Interesting. Okay.
You know, yeah, it was around the human being,
Okay.
and I felt that it was missing this other kind of connection,
Yeah.
which the past with the future, with the divinity, with the demons, which doesn't have this kind of thinking in Europe. They think that we are the human being is the beginning and the end of
And
everything. So I felt this something was missing, but I didn't know anything about India. I mean, nothing, but really nothing, Ranji, nothing, 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 really. And just, I had this accident. One friend told me, take this workshop, you will like it. And I took the workshop and I like it.
wow.
I felt that this thing, that this aspect that was missing, I could find it there.
Right.
So I took the workshop and I left to India.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And
And
you lived there.
yeah, and I feel that in Mexico, we have this background also, this this strong connection between the human being and the universe, and the
Right.
cosmos, and the religion is more a way to explain the connection that we have with everything that it's alive. No?
Right.
And I think we can find this parallel between the Indian culture and the Mexican culture, and the way we build or we can structure a performing language.
Wow. Interesting.
And more or less that's what I'm working on.
Amazing. That's amazing. I know I introduced the Dream Sectarium briefly when we were talking. I skipped several of your other excellent, projects and productions you've done. And one of the reasons I mentioned the Dream Sectarium is kind of, it seems to be touching upon, like, well, at least from what I've seen, and I wanted to ask you, is this one of those where you sort of touch upon our connection with nature from an insect standpoint? Is that what it is?
No, what the Insectarium, it's a serial of children's play,
I
and
see.
and that started in India, in fact.
Okay.
Spider's Dream and Mosquito's Dream or some were
Really?
the first
Okay.
presented in India.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
and they talk about the human dreams
Okay.
through insects for children.
I say, wow, what an interestingly different project. Very, very interesting.
And for example, the last one, well, almost the last one, the
Right.
butterfly wings.
Mhm.
It's about migration.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, it was
Really?
made for the immigrant communities in the U.S. mostly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, of these different productions, you've had, Eugenia G, is there anything that you would pick as your favorite, something that touched your heart more that you would like to, speak to us or share with us in the context of cross culture?
Maybe it's not in the language, I mean in the technical level, but Zoom, this play for children, Zoom,
Right. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
uh, and I just performed that last week.
Oh,
It's
wow.
is the I think it's the play which is closer to me, the closest to me, and it was made in India. It was created in India, and it was nice because at the beginning I didn't know what I was going to do with the play. Someone asked me to do something, and I was like, there is a lot of mosquitoes in Kerala, so I will do a mosquito. And I start to think about another play that it was very, very sad and very dramatic. And in one moment I said, no, this mosquito is searching for something. I didn't know for what. And in one moment it was like my parallel and the play were, the play and my life were running like in parallel. And
Correct.
in one moment it took life that this mosquito was searching for happiness.
Wow.
So yeah, I
Very
think
interesting.
I think that is the play that has been with me the longest time, and it has been growing with me also.
That's fantastic,
Yeah.
Eugenia G. What a totally different perspective, dance theater, and the way you think about this in a holistic way and how you're connected to the cosmos is very, very intriguing. I also wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on your future projects? What is a message you may be able to give, aspiring theater artists, dancers, musicians, who are always trying to figure out a way to, sort of do the next new project or, find a way to reinvent themselves. Is there any kind of message or your ideology that you would like to share with artists and our audiences in general to not only give the creative element to the artist, but also to help the audience appreciate different types of productions? I mean, is there anything you would like to share with them?
No, I mean, just to tell them maybe that when they think about a play, you can think about, like, when you think about a play, you should think about a play as, as if it was a party. So when you prepare and organize a party,
Right.
you expect all the guests are okay. You want to make them participate. You want to share a time with them. You want them to go happy when they go back home.
Correct.
So when you prepare a play, you must think of that, because there are many plays that I have seen, and you feel that you are invited to a party and nobody cares about you.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I when I think about the public, it's in that sense.
I see. Very interesting. So make your audience feel part of the production and part of the
Yeah,
party.
part of the party.
Right.
Yeah. Don't ignore the public.
Yeah,
The public is
absolutely.
there.
Right. And I think, some of the messages that have come across from yours is beyond cross cultural, right? It's like try to connect with your surroundings also, and a lot of your productions are conveying that message as well. You know, we're very excited to have this feature on you, Eugenia G. You know, for the sake of our audience that's tuned in, we will be featuring, you know, a few different productions and performances by Eugenia G. You know, a couple related to Kathakali. So we encourage all of you to stay tuned and watch this series over the next 2 or 3 episodes. Thanks so much, Eugenia G.
अग्रे पश्यामि तेजूदिबिडदरगलायावली अग्रे पश्यामि तेजू निबिडदरगलायावली लो
पीयूषप्लावितोऽहम् पीयूषप्लावितोऽहम् तदनुददुदरे दिव्य कैशोरवेशम् तदनुददुदरे दिव्य कैशोरवेशम्
तारुण्यारम्भरम्यम् तारुण्यारम्भरम्यं परमसुखरसास्वाद परमसुखरसास्वाद रोमाञ्चित
Shauriaguna. Como dijimos, antes de presentar esta segunda pieza, mostraremos algunos de los mudras recurrentes en ella. Shairaguna es un fragmento de la obra Kalyana Samvatika, que a su vez es un fragmento del Mahabharata. Esta escena, Bhima, el segundo de los 5 Pándavas, cansado de ver las injusticias de los primos, los Kauravas, cometen contra él y sus hermanos. Va a hablar con su hermano mayor, Dharmaputra. Como es costumbre, se dirige a él en términos de honor, recordándole su valor y su nobleza. Asimismo, le recuerda las atrocidades que han sufrido debido a la soberbia de sus primos. Han sido exiliados en el bosque como si fueran cazadores. Su esposa fue deshonrada y juró amarrarse el cabello hasta que hubiera venganza. Bhima le suplica a su hermano que le ordene ir a matar y descuartizar a los Kauravas para poder beber su sangre. Y así restablecer el honor de la familia. Dharmaputra se niega pidiéndole ser paciente y soportar el destino, es decir, el Dharma que les ha tocado enfrentar. Bhima, a pesar suyo, obedece a su hermano, pero todavía antes de salir sigue dudando entre destruir a sus primos o no. Continuamos con la presentación de Shairaguna.
Shout.
Teatro Calipatos,